What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the NYG Blue Zone. It's your boy Attikis, joined today by my main man Rudy, Rudy the Gamer. What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. Just getting ready for Christmas and yeah, man, got Christmas parties to go to, things of that sort. Just trying to enjoy the holidays, man, and everybody's on Christmas break, so yeah.
Nice.
Besides that, how about yourself, man?
Doing good, man. Yeah, we've been hitting up a lot of Christmas parties also. We're actually going to be going away for the holiday, so that's going to be cool.
Oh,
Spend
that's
some
what's up.
time with some family who we don't normally get to see and spend some time with. Hit up all the restaurants and just go. I think we're going to go see Wicked, the movie Wicked 2 or something like that too. So that'll be cool too.
Yeah,
But always good to see family and friends and in a festive atmosphere. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, man. I agree.
Yeah. So here we go, man. New York Giants hosted the Minnesota Vikings today. They had JJ McCarthy, who personally I think he is ass, right? I don't think he's a very good quarterback. He has had a tumultuous start to the season. Last couple of games against NFC East teams, he played well. And today, he really didn't play that well either. But 16-3, the Giants lose to a team that they should have beaten. But what do you feel about this, Rudy? Like, because you got a lot of people saying, let's get the dub. There's some people say, no, tank the season. We want to turn a number one draft pick into, more assets because we got a lot of holes on this team that we need to fill. What
Yeah.
did you see today when you watched this game?
For the first time all year, I could say the defense actually kept us in the game. I don't even count last week's game, even though they came a little clutch during the last couple of minutes of the game against the Commanders, where they gave the offense at least one more drive to try to see if they could try to score a touchdown and try to tie with a 2-point conversion. But today was the first day. I thought personally that I thought the Minnesota Vikings were better than what I saw today. My God, are they trash? And with JJ McCarthy, oh my God. And I said it too in my previous video that Justin Jefferson has had like 10 or 11 catches the last like 3 or 4 games for like 37 yards. He's
Yeah.
done nothing. And I said, of course, come the Giants, he's going to have a great game, which he did. I think he had like 6 catches, 85 yards, no touchdowns, but the Minnesota Vikings did try to hand this game to the New York Giants. If it wasn't for costly penalties, I mean, you're looking at an interception in the end zone, run back for 100 yards for a touchdown that got called back because of a neutral
Yeah.
zone infraction by Abdul Carter, which, by the
Yeah.
way, I think hopefully this keeps up for the rest of the next 2 games. But the last 3 games, Abdul Carter, it looks like he's woken up. It looks like somebody's
Yeah.
woken up a little beast, but he's been showing out. He's had a sack, and all three of the last of the 3 games, he's had a sack. He could have had
Yeah.
more in the last few games, and even today he could have had another sack, but again, costly penalties on defense. So what I saw today is JJ McCarthy did not impress me. Um, he was yeah, throwing the ball in harm's way, and he wasn't accurate. The only good thing he did was run in for that rushing touchdown. But I mean, man, dude, look,
Yeah.
I have a video posted up later on today. It's already made up, but it'll post up later on tonight. The title
Right.
says the New York Giants won today, and that's just saying, look, man, I want the Giants to win, but
Yeah.
if this keeps going on, right now we're still holding the number one draft pick, and for me,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that bullshit of, hey man, let's go ahead and draft Mendoza. I don't think personally
Right.
Mendoza's a better quarterback than Jackson Dart. What I want to see is for us to try to win these last 2 games. But if we stay as the number one draft pick, then look, man, look to build enough draft stock to move down, take enough draft stock you can, because there's going to be quarterbacks like the Las Vegas Raiders, especially those are one of the teams that are going to look for a quarterback during the off season.
No
Trying
doubt.
there's going to be a few teams trying to move up for a quarterback. So don't count out somebody like the
And the
Miami
Jets.
Dolphins either. Yeah. So don't count them out. So the thing is, build draft stock for me. build draft stock to try to keep building around Jackson Dart. But go ahead.
No doubt. Hey, listen, you called it, man. Like we won by losing, right? It's one of those things where, like, as a fan, and I know you just like me, like at your core, your heart says, "Yo, let's get this dub." Your mind says, "Yo, if we lose this game, but we play well, I'm gonna feel good about playing well." But the L is going to ensure that I get that number one overall pick. Man, you talked about so many things too, and I appreciate that perspective because I think we feel the same way about JJ McCarthy. I just don't think he is gonna turn out to be a good franchise quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. And I honestly thought that when he went down with injury, all the struggles that we show offensively, that we would find a way to kind of turn this thing around and maybe get some better offensive production. Jackson Dart, he was 7 for 13 for 33 yards. That's the lowest output of his career. I thought it might be the lowest output of the Giants, but in 2023, they had -9 yards for the whole game. So, believe it or not, 33 yards was not the worst offensive performance from the quarterback position. And part of that is Darius Slayton dropping passes, Theo Johnson pass thrown right to him, tipped in the air. And obviously, whenever the Giants do that, there's a defender in the right position to catch that ball and return that interception. Thank God he wasn't able to score, but it turned into an interception. So just not a good outing for Jackson Dart. His receivers certainly did not help him. Thank God we had a really good running game today, right? And you called it, man. First of all, you also brought up Justin Jefferson. And I talked about this on an earlier podcast. I said Justin Jefferson has been starved the past several weeks. I bet you he has a coming out party today, and he did. And he only had 85 yards on 6 receptions, but it was how he got them, right?
Mm-hmm.
He caught the ball before the sticks on 3rd and 14, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12. He caught it before the sticks and was able to convert those into first downs when you just felt like the Giants were going to stop them, force them into a punting situation, get the ball back, and now we get to see Jackson Dart maybe. And I don't know what the hell Kafka was doing. Like, you had such an effective running game. Why weren't you using play action? And he did not do that. It frustrated me
Mm-hmm.
royally.
Yeah.
But it was really good to see. Yo, Rudy, our defense actually looked really good today, right? I
Yes, they
mean,
did.
Brian Burns, 2 sacks. One of them resulted in a forced fumble. You also had Abdul Carter, and whatever is going on with Abdul Carter as of lately, keep it going because dude is out there balling.
Mm-hmm.
He had a sack today. You also had who else was it? It was Golson, Chauncey
Golston.
Golson, who couldn't get on the field all year. Finally got on the field and he got a sack. And it looked like Dexter Lawrence was about to get one too, but he wasn't able to get that sack because it was an effective screenplay by the Vikings. But I was very disappointed with the Giants offensively. I think it had more to do with Mike Kafka, and I can't understand why he was so run heavy and didn't think about passing the ball. But when he did, these receivers were dropping. It was pissing me off, bro. But we won by losing, right? And I'm never happy about a Giants defeat,
Right.
but the prospect of us. Here's the thing that gets me, Rudy. The Vikings, and you said it. I didn't realize how bad they were. They looked terrible. But
Yeah.
how do you let a backup quarterback come in there, Brosmer come in there, and go 7 for 9? 7 for 9 against a defense that was playing that well and effectively get the first down to run the clock and win the game. How you do that?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a combination of just trying to get the ball back. I think the with what's his name? Charlie Burns Bronze. What's the defensive
Brosmer?
Yeah, Brosnan. Yeah, I think he was getting a little
Charlie
desperate.
Bullen you're talking about, our defensive coordinator.
Yeah, yeah. Interim DC. Yeah, I think he was getting a little desperate. He was sending a little more heat, and
He
he was
was.
blitzing a lot more, especially in the beginning of the fourth quarter. And it looks like it was almost like every down he was blitzing. which was effective. I say more than often, but the thing is, they weren't getting to the quarterback quick enough during those times sometimes where he was able to complete these 3rd and 17s to Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson or whatever the case may be. But the what happened today was overall the defense had 4 sacks with net yards. The Minnesota Vikings with their net yards, it was only like 126 yards. Where the Giants, yeah, you said 33 yards, even at -9, because I remember that game, -9 yards. The Giants had a net yards of passing of 13. They got sacked 5 times. That's
Yes, they
because
did.
Andrew Thomas, All-Pro, Pro Bowl left tackle, went out early in the second quarter with a hamstring injury. John Runyon, he was out, our starting left guard. John Michael Schmitz, he's been playing better, but I still think Schwartzman is a better center, so he stepped in. Um, yeah, I thought later in the third quarter, the Giants offense was holding up a little better, but the Mike Kafka, which is also in my video for later, Mike Kafka's play calling was horrendous, horrible. Um, the running game in the second half wasn't as effective, I thought, like it was in the first half. No play action whatsoever. I don't know why don't
None.
you just positive run, play action. Why don't you try that? And he didn't do that the whole game. Jackson Dart didn't look like he was confused of any kind. It was just once you have Andrew Thomas go down, we talked about this earlier during the year. If he goes down, that offensive line is not the same.
How
And
do you think Bo did when he came in to replace him?
he was struggling in the beginning because I had to watch him closely. He was struggling that whole second quarter, especially when Brian Flores was throwing these exotic blitzes. He even let 3 times on 3 different occasions let a guy get in there untouched going to Jackson Dart. And they got Jackson Dart was able to evade or throw the pass right before he got hit. You know what I mean? But it was bad in the second quarter when he came in. Once in the second half, I saw mid third quarter when we had the ball back with like 8 minutes and 2 seconds when we finally got that ball back to be able to not let the Minnesota Vikings score. After all that 7 minutes, they had a 7 minute drive where it didn't go nowhere. It stalled out. So,
Yeah.
yeah, once I saw him in the third quarter with 8 minutes and 2 seconds when we had the ball back, the second time in the third quarter, then it looked like he calmed down a little better. He was picking up the
Yeah.
blitzes, but Jackson Dart didn't look rattled. It's just, holy shit, man. It's just Mike Kafka's play calling was horrendous.
Yeah.
And then
I think
Darius
that,
Slayton, Darius Slayton, I'm done, bro. I'm done with that guy, man. He's a good guy. Get him the hell out of here. I'm done with him dropping passes, bro. I'm done.
and he just
I'm
got
done.
paid too. And the money on his contract makes it a bit more challenging to sign Wandale Robinson. Although I think they can restructure his deal to make room for Wandale, and they need to do that. I think that Slayton will probably end up being a depth piece, but he can't be your two, not when dropping passes like that. He's done it too consistently. In fact, somebody called him Sugar Water Slayton. And that's a very fit name for him because when you need him to catch a ball to extend a drive or to catch a touchdown, he drops the pass. And these are good passes. It's not like he had to contort his body in a difficult way. He had to fight through a defender to get to the pass. The passes hit him in his hands. In this one, he was in stride. So not only would he caught the ball for a first down, he would have probably gained another 15, 20 yards also. Thankfully, on that particular drive, on the next play, there was a PI called against the defender on Wandale Robinson, so they were able to get the first down anyway. But they still couldn't do anything with that on that drive. Now, I do want to ask you about how do you feel about what do they call him? Better Call Saul, Ben Sauls. We got a new kicker who went in there today, and at with the exception of the kickoff to start the game, and I don't know if Wynn had something to do with it. I think he did pretty good. How'd you feel about him?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I talked about him on yesterday's video. I did say he will be combination wise the 12th kicker for the New York Giants in since 2018. Uh, but the 10th kicker to actually be the starter for the game. Um, I thought he did pretty well. I mean, it wasn't, yeah, the wind was pretty bad. I think they said the wind was gusting, I think it was like 25 miles an hour. Wasn't too bad. But I mean, he's a left foot kicker, And when
Yeah.
I
It
looked,
looked
those
kind of
two,
weird watching him kick, didn't it?
right. So it looked like there was those two kicks, even the extra point, where it looked like it was going to go to one side or the other, but the wind just kind of like caught it right back in. I think he meant to do that. You know what I mean? For the simple fact is because he knew the way the wind was blowing. If
He
only,
planned
and
it
he's
that
only a
way.
rookie, and he's only a rookie. So if only kickers knew, besides Graham
A
Gano, who,
rookie out of Pitt, by the way, and you know Pitt gets a lot of win. Pittsburgh gets a lot of wind out there too. So
yeah,
he
for
he
sure.
probably did kick that, understanding that the wind was gusting left to right, and he had to kick it left and let the wind bring it back through. But he did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for him going forward. Yeah, let him play the rest of
Yeah,
the season as long as he doesn't get hurt. I still think the Giants need to go ahead and maybe get a piece on draft, maybe an undrafted rookie or something like that for next year's draft. You
yeah,
know, Ben Souls did look all right. It's just one game.
yeah. Just one game. But he
Yeah, I
did
mean,
well. I mean, for this to be his introduction to the NFL, windy conditions, it wasn't a lot of high drama because you talk about two teams that were playing just for player evaluations at this point. Neither one are going to the playoffs, but I thought that he did well. And for me, it was good to see that a kicker did not lose the game for us again. So, good job for Ben Souls. I want to ask you another question though. I you know I think Jonathan Vilma is one of the worst TV analysts in football. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He misplayed. He called Darius. He called Singletary Tyrone Tracy Jr. at one point. He said that Jackson Dart has had multiple concussions this year. He's had one. He's been evaluated several times. But I do think the refs officiated pretty well because I did think that they were trying to get him in the blue tent on more than one occasion. The way that they were tackling him, it felt like that. But did you feel like during this game at any point, first of all, do you feel like there's too much hype going on with the concussion discussion as it relates to Jackson Dart? And looking at his interviews this week, he said, I play the game of football not differently from what other players are doing. I just play the game. You look at Josh Allen, you look at the Patrick Mahomes, and they take shots all the time, and they're not pulled into the blue tent as often as I am. Do you think there's something to that? And before you answer that, King Devin 16 says draft Tate. Hey, I'm with you, man. We need all the help we could get right now, particularly in our secondary. But how do you feel about that whole Jackson Dart concussion discussion?
I just think it's because he plays for the New York Giants. We are one of the shittiest teams in the NFL. And also because all the turmoil that's going on right now, we don't have a definite head coach right now. We got a temporary, an interim head coach filling in right now till the end of the season. I think just because it's New York Giants, we're in a bad spot right now. And everything in New York news, man, it gets hyped up and they go to the extreme, man. I just think it's
Yeah,
I mean, dude, Josh Allen. I mean, I get it. He's a lot bigger than Jackson Dart, but I think it's just because it's New York Giants, man,
yeah,
and where he plays for, who he plays for, they're making it all dramatic than what it is because you got a lot of these running backs or a lot of these quarterbacks that get hit every game. There's a lot of these quarterbacks that are running for their lives, trying to make first downs. It doesn't matter what quarterback it is. I mean, Baker Mayfield does it too, and I mean
mm-hmm.
those guys get hit but you don't see them sending them off to the tent. I don't know if it's because they want to be extra cautious, whatever the case may be, or maybe right now he's just the golden child of the NFL. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, man, but I just think it's where you're playing at, who you're playing for.
Yeah. I
It's a
agree. I think it's a story that's been blown way out of proportion at this
yeah,
point. I also was looking at the flow of this game, and we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. And I don't know, man. I know that players don't play to tank games. Historically, I have not really seen coaches coach to tank games. It's a lot of players that want to see that. So it's a lot of fans that are conflicted in both directions. But it felt like Kafka was not trying to win this game. it felt like your best weapon on the field on offense was Jackson Dart, and he was poorly utilized today. And only in a couple of situations did he give us a little bit of sauce to say, "See, I'm trying to get him out there to throw the ball down the field." Now, credit the Minnesota Vikings defense too. And listen, I said this for the past 2 weeks. If there's a way that the Giants could somehow lure Brian Flores to the New York Giants as a DC, I'd be all on board for that. Now I know he got stuff with the league, he got stuff with the New York Giants, and that text message that went to Brian Dable. I mean to him, but it was meant for Brian Dable. I get it. But God, he put on a masterclass on defense. Dart really didn't have a lot of places to go with the ball, but Kafka didn't give him a lot of opportunities either. Do you think there was a part of Kafka that was really just not trying to win this game? Because I was really conflicted while watching this.
Yeah, I'd just say 3 weeks ago, Mike Kafka already solidified for me. I'm sorry, bro. You're not it. Well, that Detroit Lions game, um, instead of him trying to go for the points, I don't care what nobody says, man. You go for points when it's not meant for you to go for just the points, or when you really need to. He did the opposite, and that game solidified it for me. I was good, man. I was good,
Yeah,
man.
analytics said to go for it, right? But he didn't.
Right. But he didn't, and he did it when analytics told him you should go for it. It when analytics said when he shouldn't have went for it to take the points when he should have, vice versa, back and forth, and he didn't, and he did. So for me, I was just it was pissing me off, man. I was just surprised that you were getting positive yards in the running game. And look, man, shout out to the 1-2 combo for Tracy and Motor, man. Devin Singletary, bro. They got to figure out a way. I know we got Cam Scatterboo, but we got to figure out a way to keep Devin Singletary, man, because that man, the unsung hero, quietly, man, out there had like, I think it was like 13, 14 rushes. Man, I forget what it was. He had like 50.
11 for 47.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. He always had 50 yards. That's what I mean, bro. And you got to figure it out, man, because if you can keep all three of those running backs, man, and God forbid one of them get hurt, you still got two great running backs. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, man, they were effective in the running game, but what happened to play action, man? Like, what
There
happened?
was none.
Positive, positive, run, play action. None of that was going on. It was like three straight runs.
Yeah.
Three
I
straight
thought
runs.
that Charlie Bullen, you brought him up also defensively. I thought he called a really good game, but
Yeah.
he wasn't prepared for Brosmer at all. He was prepared in practice to go against JJ McCarthy. So when this backup quarterback came in, it was just painful to see these completion after completion after completion. That's just the New York Giants, right? How many times have we seen a backup quarterback come in cold and just march right down the field on the Giants? That is so upsetting that always seems to happen. And you brought up Mike Kafka and how you were just over him after the Detroit game. And God, there was so much. I mean, part of it was I think we were just excited that Brian Dable was gone because he was easy to point the finger to. So Green Bay Packers, Mike Kafka takes over as the head coach for the New York Giants, and they played well, right? Without Jackson Dart. He had Jameis Winston starting as his quarterback. And then the following week to play against Detroit. They played well. There were errors, right? And you kind of say, okay, first game jitters as a interim head coach. He's not going to do everything perfectly. He's going to make mistakes. Let him get that out of his system. But some of his post-game press conferences and what he saw and why he made certain decisions that he made, he seemed to be like completely off balance and just divorced from reality, right? And the same thing happened against the Lions. And we have been given reason after reason to be like, yeah, it's time to move on from Kafka. The whole idea of head coach is long gone at this point, right? But today's game, he didn't even do much to solidify how I felt about him being an OC, which I think he is a good OC. Now, do I got to show him a little bit of grace based on everything that's going on with him, the Giants, you got Hard Knocks and cameras following you around? do I need to do that? I don't think I need to do anything, right? I'm a fan. I want to see my team do well, if it not here in the draft and free agency moving forward. But damn it, man. This guy it's almost like he's imploding before our eyes. And I don't even know if we are capable of beating Vegas next week based on this
Nah,
performance that we saw today.
nah. The Giants are good for one thing I know they're good for this year. I hate talking crap about my team, but they're good for losing against teams that they shouldn't. And the thing is, teams that we weren't even able to be in the same class. We were 10+ points going into the fourth quarter on every one of those games. So we should have beaten the Lions, we should have beaten the Packers, we should have beaten the Bears, we should have beaten the Broncos. Yeah, man, it's just I think the coaches might be mentally already checked out before the players are, man. You know what I mean? Their press conferences are so corny, man. So corny, robotic. Yeah, man. We were trying to go ahead and solidify the run, and it was looking good. So we were just going to go ahead and keep on running the football, bro. Your play calling was trash. I've never seen his play calling be so horrible. I mean, there was
Yeah.
nothing creative, man. It's like,
Yeah.
why do you think that we need to? This guy, bro, he didn't attempt a pass, which was an incomplete pass until late in the second quarter.
At one point, Dart was 0 for 2 with an INT. And that was after running 16 plays.
That's
That's
crazy.
pathetic. Yeah. And then
Crazy.
defensively, as well as they did, you can't give up 7 to 12 third down attempts. 7 of
Brian
12.
Flores,
Their
Brian
efficiency was
Flores
over
had you shook.
50%.
Brian Flores had you shook like that, bro. Come
He
on, man.
did.
That's crazy. Yeah, he's not meant to be our head coach, man. I'm good, man. Pass.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
they
good.
beat the Vikings had 126 passing yards, 114 rushing yards. Giants
Right.
had 13 passing yards to 128 rushing yards. So they were very efficient in a run game, but they didn't use it to open up the play action, which was crazy to me. And then the amount of sacks that they were able to get, they got to Jackson Dart. And Jackson Dart looked like he was a little hesitant at times also. I don't know if he was just uncomfortable throwing into some of the coverages that Brian Flores drew up, or if he just felt uncomfortable overall. What did you think about that?
I think he was, once Andrew Thomas went out, that's when I saw him become uncomfortable. I
Mm,
said on my video that's going to be posted up later on today is that Jackson Dart didn't look uncomfortable in the pocket. It's just once Andrew Thomas went down, and then it was you already had to deal with John Runny not being in there, and then John Michael Schmitz going out injured too. That's when he looked a little rattled, man. He didn't trust his offensive line after that, bro. Once Andrew
yeah,
Thomas went down, he didn't trust his offensive line, and I saw the difference, man. But
yeah,
then again, you want to help out your rookie quarterback, but you got wide receivers like Darius Slayton that do what they do best, man. Sugar water.
yeah. Right. Sugar Water Slate and run blocking. I thought the line did a pretty good job, but pass pro they were terrible. And I thought Schlotty played well when Schmitz went down. Runyon. I mean, we definitely saw that our depth is not very good.
No.
And that's just been across the board with this team. But this was another indicator that we just did not do well making sure that we had good talent on the team. Now, I know you got to go. I want to ask you one last question. How you feeling about Joe? So ownership has said that they're going to keep Joe Shane going into next year. They haven't said that again lately, but they said that pretty emphatically 5 weeks ago. And now here we are, and we have gotten probably worse in some regards. And sometimes it felt like we got better and showed improvement. Sometimes we've gotten worse. Based on where we are right now, can you imagine Joe Shane being brought back as the general manager of this team, or do you think they're just going to let the season end and Black Monday give him his walking papers?
Yeah. I think Black Monday will give him his walking papers. I think it's just all for show, just to keep the the boat steady, man. Just to calm everything down. Hey, man, these firings already happened. These temporary guys are filling in. Let's calm everything down. Yeah, he's gonna be here to go ahead and help us get our next head coach. No, I think it's all smoke and mirrors, bro. I think he's gonna get fired, and it doesn't help him out that since then when they said that they've gone 0-5. So it
Yeah.
he's done. He's done. Plus, he was a laughing stock last year for uh letting Saquon Barkley go and then winning a Super Bowl. But behind that, you know what I'm saying? So, nah,
Yeah.
man, I'm good, bro. Joe Shane, it's time for you to ride out, man. I'm just been saying on my videos, I'm tired of these first time GMs and first time coaches. They haven't been well for us. You know what I mean? It's time to go ahead and get somebody who's done it, has been there. You know what I'm saying? And you got to find the right GM with the right coach, man. But you got to find somebody that's already been seasoned and done it before, and give that a shot again, bro. Because you anywhere. I know where Dave Gettleman was going with his vision, but Danny Jones was not the quarterback, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was screaming on one of my videos years back on the draft, be like, all right, man, let's go, man. Pick the guy from Wyoming that nobody's gonna pick from the FCS. I can see that. I wanted Josh Allen, bro. I wanted Josh Allen, not Daniel Jones. A lot of people wanted Dwayne Harrison. Dwayne Harris, that was God rest his soul. The quarterback who passed away came from Ohio State. Dwayne Harrison, Haskins,
No,
Dwayne
what was his
Haskins,
name?
Dwayne
Dwayne
Haskins.
Haskins.
God rest his soul. But yeah, a lot of people wanted Dwayne Haskins. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good with that. He hasn't played long enough for me to be like, yeah, he's a good
Yeah.
quarterback. Nah, man, I was good. I wanted Josh Allen, but of course we got
Yeah,
Daniel.
he didn't have enough time in Haskins. I was not on the Haskins bandwagon either. Josh Allen, I was at that first game that he played at MetLife Stadium, and I was actually one of the season ticket members who was selected to hold the flag on the field for the national anthem. And I stood next to him, and the guy towered over me. And I'm 6'2". I got some height. This dude was big, man. He was a lot thinner back then. They won that game, unfortunately, but yeah, look at Josh Allen now. So, but I'm with you. I think that Joe Shane, his key card needs to be deactivated at the conclusion of our final game at MetLife Stadium when we host the Dallas Cowboys. My wife and I are going to be at that game, so I'm going to get some footage while we're there. But I'm hoping that as we're leaving the stadium, we see him leaving too, probably in a bigger hurry than we will be leaving the game because we don't want him in New York anymore. And I honestly think it would be ownership malpractice to keep that guy. Like, this is a business overall. And I don't know how uh, not Shane, Mara and Tish can justify keeping a person who is spoiling your product. And that's what's happening. And I don't know how many different Giants news outlets and media coverages and podcasts you follow, probably just as much as me. But universally, we are saying it's time to move on from Joe Shane.
Yeah, man.
We need a change. We need a difference. We need a difference maker. We want somebody that's making sure that we have good pieces in the room. And I said this on a different show. Like, I think that we have 60% of the pieces that we need in place right now, but that other 40 is so bad that we can't even compete for a full 60-minute game. We need somebody to be able to identify talent and bring them into the New York Giants. And it's going to be an attractive job, not just for a new head coach, but for a GM also. But it won't be as attractive for a head coach if Joe Shane is still here. So let's see where it goes. But hey, man, if I don't speak to you, I want to say Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry
Happy
Christmas
New
to you and
Year.
yours.
You know,
That's
Giants got. There you go, brother. And happy birthday to you also. And the Giants lost but one in the same game, you know. And I do want to say one other thing. You know, fuck the Eagles, right? They are division champions of a division where every team in the division who is not the Eagles has a losing record and pretty much looks bad. So I don't care nothing about them being the first team to repeat in 21 years to be the division champs. Because who did you really beat? Like, we all stink in this division, so whatever.
Yeah, I'm cool with all that, man. Fuck the Eagles. I agree with that. It's gonna be good. Hey man, shout out to Deontay Banks. He also proved to me again today he can't cover nobody. Just a
I
great
like him
third.
on special teams though.
Hey, he could be a kickoff return. I'm cool with that, bro. Hey, keep him
Yeah,
there. You want to keep him? You know, that's cool. But again, shout out to him. He can't cover nobody as always. 3rd and 17, decides for Justin Jefferson to get 20 yards, man. Hey, shout out to him, bro. He's awesome, man. Just keep him at kickoff returns. I'm cool with that. He does better than that than he does on anything else. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy New Year. And 2 more games. But I swear to you, man, Giants are going to find a way to win one of these last 2 games and not be the #1 draft pick. You know, shout out to Tommy Cutlets. You know, even though he was out there trying to prove himself, you know, I wanted to win anyways. But yeah, they're you
no,
know,
that was
they're
Drew
going to find a
Lock.
way. Oh,
That was
well, 2 years
that was
ago,
Drew
2 years
Lock.
ago when he won his 3 straight, literally
Oh
took us.
right, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then losing 3 straight in a row after that. But yeah, man.
I
Yeah, shout
know.
out to Drew Lock for that one too for last year, getting us that 3rd win, which literally got us from 1 to 6, something like
Right,
that, on week 16, the week before
right,
we played the Eagles.
yeah,
I think at the last game of the season. But look, man, um, we love our team, man. I just want to see them succeed. Joe Shane, get him out of here. Darius
gotta
Slayton,
go.
bro, restructure his contract. You got to put that dude as a 3rd wide receiver. He's not meant to catch footballs, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm tired of that dude, man. The crazy thing is, he has similar stats, and he's creeping up on Amani Toomer. Before anybody says anything, I know it's blasphemy. All I'm saying is, Amani Toomer is an all-time leading wide receiver in Giants history. You know what I'm saying? Touchdowns and receiving yards, which I know he has over 10,000. But that man is creeping up in yardage. And
He didn't fake an injury when he dropped that pass today though. That was a little
no,
different.
no, because he always fakes an injury every time he drops a pass. Been saying that. Been saying it for a while. Yes, yes. But yeah,
Oh man,
look, man, I look forward to the Giants. Get it straight. I want them to win next week, but then again,
they ain't gonna win.
they're gonna
They
find a
ain't
way to
gonna
lose.
win.
They're gonna find a way to lose, but that'll solidify them as the #1 seed or the #1 draft pick. So, but then the Jets are right behind them. So, but
Geno Smith gonna have a day. I'm just saying. He gonna
right.
have a day. Pete Carroll gonna look like the old Pete Carroll. That's what the Giants do. It's frustrating. It's irritating. And normally I would care, but this year they'll be doing me a favor. Go ball out, Geno Smith. When they said that to you, you ain't right back. Do that. Do that. Be that guy again. You know what I mean? But listen, thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time we drop some new content, you're one of the first ones to be notified. And I'm going to say it anyway, go Big Blue, but
No big
I
deal.
kind of want the draft pick, so we'll see how it goes.
See how it goes, man.
All right, Rudy, enjoy the Christmas party. Talk to you soon, brother.
Brother, peace.
Peace.
Yeah, a lot of girls probably crying from my old high school. Look, they see me everywhere they go, I probably would too. Look, crossed over to the Jordan man like I'm Michael. Yeah, eating blessings so much I might need lipo. Yeah, tailored for the dogs like I'm walking in chucks. Yeah, it's just in this plan, man, I see all y'all shook. Look, knew that I was great ever since I was a rook. Man, all y'all singles making me look good. Okay, praise to the most high, yeah, that's Jesus. Look, but when it come to this rap thing, I can't lose. Yeah, back-to-back #1s, that's the thing greats do. Yeah, tell them boys that ain't nothing I can't do. It's my year. It's my year.